Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. This will be my review of the Space Marine Primaris Impulsor grav tank from Games Workshop. One of these models will cost you £45. That is an insane amount of money for what is a transport tank. It's too much in my opinion. I'll just say it straight away. Yes, it's got some fancy doodads and things on it, but it's 2 sprues and it's not going to take you that long to build. It's not the new chassis for Primaris vehicles. No way. Why would you get one of these instead of a repulsor or a repulsor executioner or even a rhino? I'll go through all of those comparisons a little bit later on. But first of all, let's have a look at the model itself. Now, it's a grav tank, so it comes on one of these bases. I haven't glued it on there, but you just glue this together, and then once it's painted and things, I suppose you can then glue it onto there and then glue that onto the base if you really want, or magnetize it. However you want to fix it to that base, you can do. Grav tanks, even though you can't really see the base, grav tanks, I much prefer to glue them on the base, other than, like, you know, actual tanks, you know, like the Rhino and stuff. We'll do a size comparison in a moment, because actually a Rhino's similar size, if not bigger. So the model itself, I'm still up in the air about its looks. There are some options, like you can completely take this piece off and have it more open topped. There's no need for you to glue this on. You don't have to. It's purely sort of cosmetic if you want to. If you don't glue it on, then you've got better access to paint in there. The little screen and things. It kind of looks like it's got 6 chairs, or, well, it's got 2 there and 3 there, and I guess the other guy just holds on or crouches in there. I mean, these are supposed to be Primaris Space Marines, can fit in here. I mean, yeah, I could definitely see them sat down. You know, it sort of works, but yeah, getting under there, I can't see them doing that. So maybe you could fit 2, like one sat each side of each other, but this thing's supposed to carry 6. So yeah, again, this is really odd that they've done this. You know, it's kind of like they've taken a Rhino and made it open topped, just to show you that there's no way that 6 Primaris will fit in there. But rules are rules, and you can have 6 of them there. Yeah, I keep showing some size comparisons, but anyway, what I do like is, well, I like the little Primaris popping his head out. That's pretty good target practice. I like the Bellicatus missile array. That's quite funky. You could cut pieces out in there and magnetize it. You know, you can magnetize this array here. You can leave that glued, I suppose, and then you could magnetize the Iron Hail Sky Talon array if you wanted to do that. I like this big heavy stubber. I think it is a bit archaic looking, and I would have preferred a heavy bolter, clearly. Bolt weapons, I don't know why Primaris are getting sort of like the downgrade with these stubber weapons. It's a shame, really, when you think that you're getting Gatling cannons and onslaught Gatling cannons, you're getting the big macroplasma weapons, and you're getting the heavy lasers destroyers as well, that, you know, on some of their other vehicles they're just getting stubbers, like the Invictus Warsuit and this vehicle. I've equipped it with the frag launchers. You can, if I didn't glue them in, well, this one's not glued, I don't think this one is either. Okay, yeah, it's sort of glued in by accident. If you get the other vehicles, if you have another one of these, you can swap the sponsons in, and they go in quite well, and they stay in, and they sort of stay sponsoned, you know, at a trajectory. I mean, that one's a bit wobbly, but the other one stays in quite well. It's quite solid. The front of it is very reminiscent of a Rhino. You've got the grav plates there with this bull bar kind of thing. You've got grav plates all around the sides. You've got these jets. Then you've got the exhausts on top of them. You've got these viewing ports either side. That's quite interesting. they're actually inside. So maybe you can get a couple of Primaris inside and then 4 Primaris outside. And then you've got the driver in there. Maybe that is the driver. So yeah, it's possibly feasible, but this vehicle is smaller than I thought it would be. We'll do some comparisons with a repulsor in a moment. But yeah, it didn't take too long to build. But there you go. It is a transport for Primaris, but yeah, it's another transport on top of the repulsor, which is, you know, much more heavily armed and can carry 10 Primaris Space Marines. Yes, it's much more expensive, but it's also much more survivable. Let's have a look at the spare parts then, shall we? If he's going to stay on for me. Probably won't, but there we go. Right, he will sort of stay on. Okay, so here are all of the spare parts. So you've got options here for the storm bolters. Its war gear naturally has the storm bolters and the side sponsons, so you can have them if you wish. You've got the reverse part of the Iron Hail Sky Talon array thing. These would just fit in here, probably like that, maybe. And then you've got the Iron Hail Sky Talon array. It's just 2 heavy stubbers at the end of the day. And then you've got a helmetless head. I suppose you could use him on a different Primaris. He looks pretty cool. It's got this microphone there and a lens over his eye. So yeah, you could have had him instead of the helmeted one, but I wanted to give the driver of the Impulsor every chance possible. So yeah, they're all the spare parts, so not many at all. So yeah, hope that helps. Now I'll do some size comparisons. Okay, so the first vehicle I wanted to directly compare him to was the Repulsor. Now I don't have the Repulsor Executioner, unfortunately. I will try and get one soon, but of course there is the Sisters of Battle army coming out, and I did say that I'd cover every single release of that, so that's a bit of a commitment from me, but I'll try and get the Executioner as soon as I can. It's definitely high up there on my list. Anyway, so this is the normal Repulsor. Now let's remember, guys, the Repulsor is only £5 more than the Impulsor on the left. £5 more. Look what it gets you for £5 more. An actual big proper tank. It is a big proper tank. It holds 10 Primaris. The Impulsor only holds 6. Look at the amount of weapons it's got on it as well. How many Gatling cannons do you want? One large Gatling cannon, another one, the stubber, some launchers, twin heavy bolters. You can have the last talon in there, I think. You've got storm bolters at either side. You've got the little anti-air missile launcher. You've got a hatch at the back. You've got hatches at the side. You've got all the gravitic plates, even these big ones at the front. You know, that's how much it gets you. You've got a movable turret. Yeah, the turret is small. Okay, we get that. Executioner looks better, the turret. But, you know, for £5 more, yeah. I mean, there's just no contest, really. If you know, I mean, it depends on what you want. Do you want a smaller transport that can hold less? Or do you want, you know, a much bigger transport? We'll do some comparisons in the rules and things for them, and I'll have them both set out for you. But I just want to show you that size comparison between the Repulsor and my bad gluing, apparently. Oh dear, I need to glue that back on. Hopefully that'll dry by the end of the review. Okay, next comparison I want to make is just with a Rhino. This is a Rhino here. Yes, it's a Chaos Rhino, so it's a bit spiky, but there's not much in it. Not much in it at all. Width-wise, probably say the Rhino is wider, except for these engines at the back. It certainly looks wider kind of that way. So yeah, you can see why this now can carry 10 and this can only carry 6. That's another angle. just basically looks like a flatbed rhino, but a gravitic version. Personally, I was just hoping for gravitic rhinos, but no, they've just designed and made a whole brand new transport. So there you go. Does it really have a place in 40k, this Impulsor? Did we really need it? Well, there you go. That's comparison with the Rhino, and then a comparison with a tank that costs exactly the same, or it did until a bit of a price hike. Land Raiders are now £50 on the website, but here it is. This is a Land Raider. If you're on the fence as what to buy and you only had Primaris, then, well, I'd go for the Repulse, obviously. But if you just had normal Space Marines, yeah, Land Raiders just, you know, it was the same price up until long ago. And look what you get. You get this huge tank that can carry Terminators. It can carry Centurions. Got a Centurion there. This one will only carry your Incursors, Infiltrators, Intercessors and Reavers. Can't even carry jump pack units or Gravis armor models, so you can't even put any aggressors in there. You can put aggressors in your Repulsor. It can carry 6. Would have been nice if it could carry 3 aggressors. For whatever reason, that is the way they're taking it. Final comparisons, just with a normal, well, with a Redemptor Dreadnought. It towers over this thing. Really does. It's huge compared to one of these Impulsors. And then normal Primaris, we've had a little bit of a size comparison. Now, normal Space Marines, I could probably get that. I could probably get that you could fit 6 or 10 in there or something. But just the Intercessors, I just have a hard time sort of imagining it. Is it too small again? Have they done another Rhino with this kit? I mean, I think this kit is too small anyway for what it does. I think it would have been better on like a Repulsor chassis, bit larger. But there we go. It's here, and you know, people wanted a transport for their Primaris, and that's what we've got. We already had one in the Repulsor, but they wanted a cheaper one. What we'll do now is we'll go through all of the rules for the Impulsor, and I'll compare it with the Repulsor as well. Okay, so just like the Repulsor, you'll find the Impulsor in the transport section of the Space Marine Codex. So at least it does free up, you know, the heavy support choice for a Repulsor Executioner if you wanted to go down that route. The power points cost of this thing is only 4. That's why I think it's really expensive. £45 for a PowerPoint cost 4 model. It's probably one of the most expensive models for PowerPoint's cost. Not being funny, you can get almost 4 of these for the same points cost as a Repulsor. Power points cost, of course. The points cost of one of these is 75 points, which is only 10 points more than a Rhino. Technically, points cost wise, you can get 3 of them almost for the same points cost as a Repulsor as well. So its stat line, how does that fare? Well, it's one of these units where the remaining wounds affects its movement, ballistic skill and attacks. So it starts off with 11 wounds. So between 6 and 11, it's got movement speed of 14 inches, ballistic skill 3+ and attacks 3. It's got between 3 and 5 wounds, movement speed drops to 7 inches, ballistic skill drops to 4+ and attacks a D3, and then 1 to 2 wounds, it only moves 4 inches, ballistic skill 5+ and attacks of 1. So yes, its movement speed is one of the best aspects of this. It's 4 inches faster than the Repulsor, so it is going to be speeding across the battlefield. However, it's only 2 inches faster than a Rhino. Only 2 inches faster than a Rhino. But 14 inches is still a very, very decent movement speed. Its weapon skill is 6+, strength is 7, its toughness is 7, it's got 11 wounds, leadership 8 and a save of 3+. Compared to a Repulsor, obviously Repulsor's got strength 8 and toughness 8 and 16 wounds. So pretty good that it's got 11 wounds. We're comparing that to a Rhino, which has got 10, but the Impulsor has one better strength at strength 7. Still got the same toughness as a Rhino though. Okay, what is it armed with? It's a single model equipped with 2 Stormbolters. That's all you're getting for your points. You can add a few other things to it. So I've gone for the Bellic Artist missile array because it looks cool. I always go for the rule of cool where I can. Looking back on it, maybe I should have kept the storm bolters, but I like the fact that it's got this missile array. It's got this missile array on the back that it's not really sure what it wants to attack. It's got crack missiles, frag missiles, and Icarus missiles. So crack missiles, standard crack missile profile, so a range of 48 inches, heavy 1, strength 8, AP -2, and a damage to D6. Frag missiles, 48 inch, heavy D6, strength 4, AP 0, and damage 1. And then the Icarus missiles, 48 inch range, heavy D3, strength 7, AP -1, damage D3. And when resolving an attack made with this weapon, add 1 to the hit roll if the target can fly, otherwise subtract 1 for the hit roll. So you can still hit other units, you know, on a 4+ with 3 shots of a strength 7 weapon with damage of possibly 2 or more. So it's still good, but if you really want that high strength and a high AP and, you know, damage of potentially 6 almost, just use a crack missile. The thing is that the range of these weapons aren't really going to be that much of an issue if it's bobbing around at 14 inches. You know, with a 48 inch range weapon equipped with it, it's going to have an effective range of 63 inches anyway, which is easily enough to cover your standard gaming board. I've gone for the Fragstorm grenade launcher. It's one of the newer weapons. I do prefer it to the Storm Bolter. It is a shorter range though, it's 18 inches, but it is assault D6 weapon. So you get 2 of these things, and then you've got a potential of 12 shots at strength 4, AP 0, and damage 1, which is the same profile as the Storm Bolter. It's just you having a potential of having 12 shots instead of just 4. You can equip it with the Iron Hail Heavy Stubber, which is just like a heavy bolter but a worse strength. It's a 36 inch range, heavy 3, strength 4, AP -1, and a damage of 1. The Iron Hail Sky Talon array, which is what you're going to have if you're always against flyers, is a 36 inch range, heavy 6, you're getting 6 shots straight away. Strength is only 4 though, because it's a heavy stubber basically. AP -1, damage 1, and again it's got this, you know, when it attacks a model that flies, you can add 1 to the hit roll and wound roll if it flies. So that's pretty good. You're going to be wanting that extra 1 for the wound roll because it is only a strength 4, so they've kind of bypassed that a little bit by having that. And then your Storm Bolter is just a 24 inch rapid fire 2, strength 4, AP 0, and a damage of 1. Options, you can equip it with the Iron Hail Heavy Stubber, which I have, just to give it a bit more beef. I mean, technically this thing's got 4 weapons now. It can be equipped with 2 Fragstorm grenade launchers instead of 2 Storm Bolters, which I've done. The model can have a shield dome or an orbital comms array, or can be equipped with one of the following: 1 Bellicatus missile array, 1 Iron Hail Sky Talon array. Now I totally forgot, just in a moment of madness, maybe I'm tired, I don't know, but what I've done is you can opt, I haven't glued this on there, you can glue it on, it's fine, you can magnetize it, do whatever, but what I've done is I've left it unglued, because then I can put the shield dome on there to give it an invulnerable 4+ save, or don't glue the shield dome to this little pod thing, and then you can have the orbital comms array on there as well. Pretty cool. That's just my little tip. The only thing I haven't gone for is the Sky Talon array. So if I were to get another one, don't see why I ever would, but if I were to get another one, I'd have the Iron Hail Sky Talon array, but then keep all the other things unglued and go for the Storm Bolters as well, but still have that heavy stubber. So then I can mix and match everything with everything. So I could have 2 orbital comms arrays, or, you know, whatever. Anyway, I've got a feeling this is going to be quite tricky to get out. Okay, maybe not. So yeah, in my moment of madness, I forgot about those pieces, but you can obviously keep them separate somewhere safe. It's going to be a pain, try not to lose them. Anyway, let's carry on. The abilities: Angels of Death. It's a hover tank, so the distances are always measured to and from this model's hull. Repulsor field: if any units with this ability are chosen as targets of a charge, you subtract 2 from the charge roll. That will give it a bit more survivability. It's an assault vehicle, so after this model moves in your movement phase, if this model did not advance, any units embarked aboard it can disembark. Units that do so cannot be chosen to charge with that turn, so you can't charge them if they do disembark. And then shield dome: that's an optional ability. You can get a 4+ invulnerable save with that. And then the orbital comms array, if you choose this war gear option, in the shooting phase, one model from your army with an orbital comms array that has not been used, this battle can use it to call in an orbital barrage. If it does, select 1 point on the battlefield and roll 1d6 for each unit within d6 inches of that point, subtracting 1 from the result if the unit being rolled for is a character. On a 4+, the unit being rolled for suffers D3 mortal wounds. Pretty decent. You basically got a 50-50 chance there per unit of getting up to 3 mortal wounds. Very, very good, but it has to be within D6 inches, so a little bit like a blast marker. This is going to be great for city fighting and things, where models are going to be bunched up, but more or less they'll be getting those cover saves. And then finally, explodes. When this model is destroyed, roll 1d6 before any embarked models disembark and before removing it from play. On a 6, it explodes, and each unit within 6 inches suffers d6 mortal wounds. So transport capacity, it can transport 6 chapter Primaris infantry models. It cannot transport jump pack or Mark 10 Gravis models. So no aggressors, no jump pack, no standard Space Marines, just 6 Primaris infantry. So you've got your Hellblasters, your Intercessors, your Reavers, your Infiltrators, and your Incursors. I think that's all of them. Keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, Vehicle, Transport, Fly, and Impulsor. So there you go. That is my full review of the Impulsor. From a cost point of view, it's very cheap points cost. You know, it's 10 points more than a Rhino. You're getting better stats all round. You're getting better weapons, arguably, all round. You're losing transport capacity, though. And that's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a transport option. Therefore, it should transport as many Primaris as possible. And it fails in that. The Repulsor is a better option in terms of armour, armament, wounds, and the number of Primaris that it can transport. The only upside you're getting on this is an extra 4 inches movement compared to the Repulsor, or 2 inches compared to a Rhino. It's low points cost, and it's got some funny little extra abilities, such as having a 4+ invulnerable save, which I wouldn't knock that. You know, if you just equip it with the 4+ invulnerable and the Storm Bolters, it's going to be able to whip about, but then it's only going to be delivering 6 Primaris. Whether you think that's worth it for 6 Hellblasters is completely up to you. But this is not a mobile weapons platform. This is something that should be delivering 6 Primaris into the heart of battle. I can't see anyone using it for Intercessors, Infiltrators, or Incursors, or even Reavers. Well, maybe Reavers, because they've all got the concealed positions. Primarily, I would say you'd use this as a cheap transport for your Hellblasters more than anything, if you didn't want to invest all of the points into getting a Repulsor. Or Repulsor Executioner, if your heavy support choices were already filled. But there's just something about having 6 Hellblasters and a Repulsor Executioner that already has a Macroplasma Incinerator. There's something cool about that. Anyway, what do you guys think of this? Is it the transport we asked for? I honestly don't think it is. I would have rather it had a transport capacity of 10, even if it ditched some of the other little extras, such as the missile array and things. If it just had the Storm Bolters, but it could carry 10 actually inside it, I would go for that over what we've been given, which is this half open topped semi-transport vehicle with a load of extra weapons. It's trying to do everything at once. It's trying to be a master of all trades, and I think it should be more focused, much like the Rhino is. So I don't know what Belisarius is thinking at the moment, but it seems like an odd addition to the Primaris force right now. Please do put all your thoughts and comments and things down below. It'd be great to hear from you. The Incursor Infiltrator review, well, it'll be Incursors. A review will be up next week, Wednesday. Thank you for your patience for both of these reviews. There's a lot of decent content coming to this channel over the next couple of months, and I will be making a video every single day for December, a bit like a video advent calendar for you all. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this one. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.